ever seen. The night that he was so badly hit and the doctors gave him almost no chance, I called their hospital room and spoke to her, and she said, sir, he'll be fine. Oh, no, I'm telling you, he's going to, I'm praying, the whole country is praying. Sir, I'm telling you, don't worry about it. He's going to be fine. This is the mother talking to me. And the father's like devastated. He's an incredible guy too, both. And I went and invited them to the Oval Office, and they came in. She said, sir, he's fine. It was amazing, actually. And today, Monica, she said, we're all praying, and I'm praying. And then she called to say, sir, he moved his finger today. This is like 3 days later. He moved his finger. And today I got a call that he got up from bed. Do you believe that? He got up. He got up. Now, he didn't speak. He's not ready for that yet. I mean, he got hit in the head. But he got up, and boy, they're so happy. It's amazing. And the care that they've given him at the hospital, and the generals that have been there, the military that's been there, it's amazing. General Seward and others that she said that the level of love that your military has given to my boy, and by the way, Sarah's parents said the same thing. The love and the affection and the care that they're given, they can't even believe what's happened. But Andrew stood up today, and people even can't believe it. So the mother was amazing, and let's hope it continues. Look, it doesn't get much worse than what he did. Let's hope it continues. But that's an act of terrorism. This is a guy came from Washington, state of Washington, came across the country, and he wanted to kill people with the uniform. A whack job. Isn't it crazy? Think of it. He was also very badly injured. And they're fighting to save his life so that we can give him the death penalty. How crazy is that, right? They're fighting to save his life so that we can give him the death penalty. That's the way it really should work, right? The doctors have to do their job, and then the lawyers have to do their job. But it's an amazing country. Actually, Andrew's father said that. He said, they're fighting for him. I hope they save him, sir, because I hope he has to understand what he did, how bad it is. And he's going to, I think he will be saved, actually. It looks like they will save him. He wasn't as badly hurt as Sarah or Andrew, but isn't it an amazing thing? They're working so hard to save his life, and we're going to put him up for the death penalty. Amazing, huh? Only in America. That's only in America. You know, in one way, there's something beautiful about it. In another way, it's a little crazy, right? In my first term, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world. You know that. We had the greatest economy in history, even with the COVID came, and it really hurt the world. It was a gift from China, but China got hurt very badly, too. We're getting along with China. They're buying a lot of our soybeans. Keep buying those soybeans there. You know, you heard all about magnets and rare earth. They were great. I met with President Xi. Scott was with me, and we had a whole group. Marco was there, and Chris was there. We were all there, and we made incredible deals with China. We're getting along. Getting along is a good thing. You know, getting along is a good thing, not a bad thing. It's a smart thing, and they're buying literally trillions of dollars worth of our products and all of that. And we had a very good meeting. Remember, the whole world was going to shut down over rare earth. That was 2 months ago, and that worked out very well. It all works out well. If you have a smart president, it works out well. If you have a dummy, it doesn't work out. But we had a great economy. We had the greatest economy in our country's history, but we had what's called the greatest economy. This is the first term, probably ever, of any country. Now, in addition to that, we rebuilt our military. We got the biggest tax cuts ever. We got the biggest regulation cuts ever. We had the best job numbers. We had a great first term. Or frankly, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be standing here. Because if I had a bad first term, you know, you might say, I like him. He's really good. But we had a lousy first term. You're not going to vote. You voted for me because we had a great, despite all of the Russia bullshit, Despite all of the impeachments, you know, think of it. The impeachments, all of the crap we had to go through with these crooked Democrats. They're crooked as you could be. They're bad people. They're sick people. But despite all of that, we had an amazing first term. Our second term is blowing it away. It's blowing it away. So we're doing it again, but bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. There's more work to do, but today, 22 states, we're setting 22 total. Is that right, Chris? That just came out, that statistic. We're down lower than we've been in 7 years in gasoline prices and oil prices, not just the 3 states that I talk about with $1.99 a gallon. How would you like to have $1.99? You know, that's the equivalent of a very major tax cut. You know, when you get the energy prices down, it's really the equivalent, maybe even in many cases better than a big tax cut, which we gave you. We gave you the biggest tax cut ever in the first term. We then gave you, with the great, big, beautiful deal, which is phenomenal, we gave you something that's even better than we did. We gave you an extension of the biggest tax cuts and the biggest tax cuts ever, even bigger than the first term. And that's one of the reasons that your 401ks are through the roof. It's one of the reasons that the stock market is at the highest point. So rent prices are down, dairy prices are coming down very strongly. The cost of Thanksgiving turkeys was down by 33% compared to the Biden era. Biden era. You know what you did during the Biden era for Thanksgiving? You said, oh my God, this is terrible. It was a rotten Thanksgiving. And Walmart, I thank them. You know, they came out with a big, like sort of a numbers thing, a chart, and they had it 25% less. So that's pretty good. A Thanksgiving meal with all of the trimmings is 25% less under Trump than it was a year ago under Biden. That's a good start. We're bringing it down, and we're coming down more. We're coming down a lot more. Takes a little time to come down. They were ruining. They're going to destroy our country. The cost of a Christmas ham, what? Don't forget who? Eggs. I'm getting to eggs. But you're right. Remember with eggs where I had my first news conference. 2 days went by and I had a news conference, right? Unlike Biden, 2 years go by, he still didn't have it. Remember? He'd walk off the stage. He's finished with his, sir, you finished with your speech. Now what? You finished what? And then he'd walk into a wall. What he did, and it wasn't him, it was some really smart, radical left lunatics. What they did to our country, we can never forget. We can never forget. But you remember the first eggs? We remember the first 3 days. I just got there. Sure, what's these people? 2 of them are there, right there. Look at all those cameras you got. You got a lot of television going. 2 of them were there. And I'm talking about, yes, I look forward to getting involved and doing great things. What about eggs? Eggs are down. They go, eggs. They said, the price of eggs is quadrupled. I said, oh, I didn't know that. Tell me about it. It's gone up like 4 or 5 times. Remember eggs right at the beginning? He's right when he says eggs. It went up like 4 times. It was like crazy. And they said, sir, don't buy. They came into the Oval Office. Sir, you know, we have an Easter egg hunt. It's like a thing for 150 years at the White House. Beautiful. They said, sir, we're going to buy plastic eggs this year. Plastic eggs. We don't have, you know, enough eggs to go around for that. I said, you're going to buy regular eggs. And by the time Easter comes, we're going to have so many eggs, you're not going to know what to do. You're not buying plastic. And we didn't. And Brooke Rollins, our Secretary of Agriculture, did an incredible job. And eggs dropped like a rock. And we ended up buying a lot of eggs for a lot of. But the price of eggs is down now 80% since March. Think of that. And we have 2 price charts. Do you remember the last time I pointed to a chart? My all-time, I don't care what these charts say. My all-time favorite chart was the chart I had in Butler. I said, let's look at the chart. Ding, ding. I don't care how good that chart looks. It's shit by comparison to the one in Butler. It's nothing. I like the Butler chart. Remember, that was on how great employment was and all this, but I like it for other reasons. Look at that chart. It's good, but now I talk about the Butler chart, I don't even want to look at it. Doesn't mean anything. But look, Biden price increases and Trump price increases. Look at Biden. Up 37, 24%, 22, 21, 30.7, 30.7 again, 10.4%, 49%. Trump, the price is down 5.1, 4.2, 0.5, down 4%, 2 points, 2.9. Look at that. Our prices are coming down. Their prices, it's a hoax. They're just, remember they said the Inflation Reduction Act. Remember that? Billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars. The inflation, and after they got it approved, because we had a few Republicans that went along with that whole hoax. And remember, we're going to pass the inflation. And I said, there's nothing to do with inflation reduction there. There's nothing to do with that. It has nothing, it had nothing to do with inflation either way, other than raising inflation, perhaps, because it was such a stupid. And then they admitted, they fought it like, oh no, this is inflation. After they got the thing passed, then they said, we agree, it has nothing to do with inflation. Screw you, we don't care. That's what it is. We're dealing with bad people. And the word affordability is the exact same thing. And I can't say affordability hoax because I agree the prices were too high, so I can't go to hoax because they'll misconstrue that. But they use the word affordability, and that's their only word. They say affordability, and everyone says, oh, that must mean Trump has high prices. No, our prices are coming down tremendously from the highest prices in the history of our country. And look at that chart. Let's see the next one. You have another one, I think, mortgage rates. Even with a lousy Fed chair. We have a lousy Fed chair. Oh, and by the way, it looks, you're going to have to check this, please. I just heard it could be that all 4 commissioners in the Fed signed by Biden, including Too Late. You know who Too Late is? Too Late, pal? Jerome Too Late. He's too late with his interest rates for a reason. He's a bad guy. He's not a smart guy, but he's a bad guy. Too Late. Is he going to lower rates a little bit finally? Did you see where Jamie Dimon, respected guy, said, you got to get the rates down, you schmuck, you know? But I hear that the AutoPen may have signed those commissions. If they signed those commissions, now maybe I'm wrong, but we're going to check. Have you checked that? Are you hearing it? Who signed it? Did he sign it or did the AutoPen sign it? I'm hearing the AutoPen. You know, you can't use the AutoPen unless it's very strongly authorized, or unless you show you know what the hell you're doing, which is impossible of him to show. So, I don't know. I think it's something we have to look into. You put people there that are not authorized to be there. I know I signed Chris Wright. I signed everything, but I signed Chris Wright. If I gave you an AutoPen, they could throw you the hell out of here, Chris. The difference is they would do it, you know? We try and be too nice. No, would you check that, Scott, okay? Because I'm hearing that the AutoPen could have signed maybe all 4, but maybe a couple of them. We'll take 2. So look at that, Biden. I love that laugh. Who's the woman with that great hearty laugh? That's a woman that likes Trump. That's not beautiful. Anybody can laugh with that happiness. She likes Trump. He likes Trump, too, with the hat. Yes, that's right. Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you. So, Biden, new yearly mortgage cost increases, and Trump, new yearly. Look, we went down with our rates. They went up with their rates much. That's a lot. So, with us, you save $2,900, almost $3,000. And with them, you go up, it costs you $15,000. You don't hear that because the fake news doesn't tell you that. And these are charts, these are government charts. These are not made up by Donald J. Trump. These are government charts. Do you have a third chart? Because I like these charts very much. Not as much as Butler, but I like them. You have any other charts? Because so far they're playing quite well. Oh, look at that. Real wages. Look at that. Losses and Trump real wages gains for the typical worker. Wow. I mean, that's incredible, right? So look at the amount of loss, 18.5, 106. What the hell is that all about? Is that even possible? Biden food, oh, I see. No, that's the eggs. You moved that chart very quickly. I said, what's going on with that chart? That was Houdini did that. Because I was saying, boy, I really like the numbers having to do with real wages, but, you know, they've played very well. But this plays very well, too. So you have Biden food price increases, Trump. Look at that. Look at that. So ours are decreases, all decreases, and they're moving down good. But look at AIDS, 106%, and we got them down 15%. Look at those numbers. But you don't hear that from the fake news. You don't hear that. What do you think of that, David? I think we're going to have to do something. You know, we should impeach him, but he's gone. I guess we can't, right? By the way, if it were up to them, numbers like that, they would have impeached. Those numbers are terrible, and those are government numbers. So thank you very much, everybody. It's good. We have a couple of other charts we're going to show you, too, that are just terrible. We're also working to bring down the cost of health care. Obamacare is a scam. Under Obamacare, trillions of dollars were given directly to health insurance companies. Their stocks are up 1,700% in a very short period of time. Would you say that's good? Obamacare's primary purpose was to pay off insurance companies. You know, the insurance companies back the Democrats very heavily. I want to give billions of dollars directly to the people. I want to take all of the billions and billions and actually trillions, but over a period of time. And I want to give all of that money we give to the big, fat, rich insurance companies. I don't want to give them nothing. I want to give nothing to the insurance companies. I don't want to give all, because they're sucking our country dry with this scam by the Democrats. That was Obama, and I've always said it, Obamacare, but now you see the numbers because your premiums are going up on Obamacare and everything. It's forcing everything up. But we want the money go directly to the people. We want you to go out and buy your own health insurance, and you'll get much better health insurance at a much lower cost. Everybody knows this is the best way to go, but the Democrats, they're bought and owned by the insurance companies. So let's see how many of them have the guts to vote for this. You know, we're putting in bills where all of that money, hundreds of billions of dollars, goes to the people to go out and buy your own health care. And everybody's different. Some are young people, some are older people. It's a much different, really, set of criteria. In 4 years under Biden, Democrats secured less than $1 trillion in new investments in our country. Think of that, though. And we've done in 10 months, we've set the all-time country record by many times. I'm going to get the exact numbers many times. 18, what are we over 18, right around 18 trillion? We could hit $20 trillion in the first year with 10 months, 18 trillion versus less than 1 trillion. And I'll tell you what, it was going to go down if it wasn't going to be like even anything. It would have been negative because companies were pouring out of our country. The stock market is set 51. This is in less than 10 months. The stock market is set 51 all-time record highs. There's never been anything like that. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. It's set, think of that. It's set 51 all-time record highs in less than 10 months. That was as of about 3 weeks ago. Before I entered office, 100% of all new net jobs were going to migrant workers. Think of that. 100% of new jobs were going to migrant. These are government numbers, by the way. These are not Trump numbers. These are government numbers. Because they say, well, did Trump come up with these numbers? No, I didn't come up. I'm just... Migrant workers and illegal aliens got 100%. But since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American citizens. How about that? Now, how about that? Even I will give myself a hand. Now think of it, 100% went to American citizens before 100% went to people that came into the country illegally. Again, many of them from prisons, many of them gang members, drug members, Tren de Aragua. More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. That's why when they ask about the economy, you know, you have fake polls. How's Trump doing? You hear these numbers. How's Trump doing on the economy? I was interviewed by a very hostile group today. I said, why am I doing these people? They're hostile. But they were relatively fair because they can't beat you. I don't mind. I can be interviewed by anybody. Were you concerned if you're doing badly, you don't want to be interviewed by bad people. But they can't do anything to you because the numbers speak. It was Politico. I did an interview today. It was a good interview because they have no ammunition. The one person said to me, it's unbelievable. Our economy is unbelievable. There's never been anything. But the Democrats go out, prices are too high. Yeah, they're too high because they caused them to be too high. But now they're coming down. One of the most important ways we're defeating inflation is by unleashing American energy, including oil, gas, and clean, beautiful coal right here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Did you know I went to school in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, right? The great Wharton School of Finance. I love the Wharton School. Became a little liberal, but these are minor details. But the Wharton School, one of the greatest schools in the world. I went here and I loved it. I loved the school, and I love Philadelphia. Philadelphia's gotten a little rougher, but we're going to take it. And you have a great football coach, and you have a great running back, Saquon. You know, I got to know Saquon a little bit, and my hand will never be the same. I patted him on the back. I said, Saquon, let's go. You're my partner today. Let's go win. Because it was like I hit a piece of steel. I said, what the hell is with you, Saquon? That's pretty, he's good. But he's a better football player than he is a golfer, trust me. He's so strong. He's those muscles. But his football is great. His golf will be very good. Very good. But we won. We won our match. And you do have a great coach. I was with you, Coach. I got a little streak going here, but that'll change. But he's a great coach. Well, you won the whole deal, right? I got to know him last year when he came to the White House, and I said, this guy's he's a real leader. The players loved him. And you had some players that are just, really just fantastic guys. But you have a good football team. It's really good to watch. But for 4 long years, Biden and the Democrats tried to endlessly kill Pennsylvania energy jobs. They worked so hard to kill the jobs. They wanted wind all over the place, you know. Let's go buy those windmills for millions of dollars each from China. Every time it goes around, you lose $15. Did you know that? That's on average. You're supposed to make money with energy. You're not supposed to lose money with energy. And everybody that's doing wind is in virtual bankruptcy right now. If you look at UK, I told he's a nice man, Starmer, Prime Minister. I said, you have a great energy source in the North Sea. Use it, or you're not going to be in office very long. Their energy prices, they're putting wind all over Scotland, all over the most beautiful fields in the world, Scotland. All over beautiful. Oh, we have some Scottish people here. Where the hell did you come from? We have Scottish people. But they're putting wind all over Scotland. The people are not thrilled with it. And it's costing them a fortune. They have the most expensive energy. And I said, I'm going to do you a favor. You could be there for a long time. Open up the North Sea oil. One of the greatest oil. And, they like to say, well, it's very well depleted. No. It's good for another 500 years, and they haven't even found most of it yet. And if you look at Norway, they have a section of the North Sea, which in theory isn't as vibrant, and it's a very rich country. They have a tremendous worth because of the North Sea. But UK has to, if they don't go back to oil, I think a lot of bad things are happening to Europe. That their immigration policies are so bad. Is so bad. They're destroying our beautiful Europe. I love Europe. They're destroying Europe, and they better do something. I'll give them just some free advice. I'm focused here. but I give them free advice. They better be careful because immigration and energy are going to destroy Europe. On day one, I ended the war on Pennsylvania energy. I just terminated something that was insane. And we all love Elon. Elon was up here campaigning, right? But I said, Elon, I think electric cars are great, but not everybody wants an electric car. And I ended the insane electric vehicle mandate where everybody was supposed to have an electric car by the year like 2030 or some ridiculous year like that. It's just not going to be that way. I don't think it'll be some like hybrids, some kind of like gasoline powered. I mean, the nice thing about gasoline is we have 2,000 years worth of we have more gasoline, we have more oil and gas than any country anywhere in the world. Is that right? And they want us to go to batteries. Let's go to batteries. We don't have battery content. So let's go to batteries, according to these morons that were in our country. Let's not use oil and gas, which we have more than any country in the world. Let's go to batteries. Well, we have to go to the Congo and get it from China. But I actually stopped the war with Congo and Rwanda, and they said to me, please, please, we would love you to come and take our minerals, which we'll do. But I stopped the Green New Scam. It's a total scam. And, you know, we had, they used to call it global warming. Then they called it 15 other things, and none of them worked. So they came up with climate change, remember? Climate change. Because you can't go wrong with climate change if it goes up. Remember, global warming, and then the temperature started going down like a rock. Remember? We had global warming, and they sent that big, beautiful ship with all scientists on it, and it went into deepest Alaska. It went up through the ice. And the global warming, it was getting so warm, except, unfortunately, they had a bad few weeks. It got so cold that the ice just crushed the ship. We had to take those poor bastards out by helicopter. The scientists, they said, one guy was petrified of helicopter. He said, I have a choice, go down in the ice with the ship or go in a helicopter. He chose the helicopter. He made it. But we have a very simple policy, right, Chris? Drill, baby, drill. We have a simple policy. And natural gas production is booming. Coal mining is up by 2.4 million tons a month. And we're also reviving Pennsylvania manufacturing. And with our historic tariffs, steel production is roaring back. We're building steel mills all over the country. And U.S. Steel is coming back at a level never thought possible before. And I was up. And I was up here and with the workers and with Selena. Do you know Selena? Does everybody know? And with some other people. We were up with some great people, and we spent the whole day, and they were determining whether or not they wanted to make which one of the deals. I went to the workers. I said, which one do you like? We picked the right one. As I said before, billions of dollars they're spending. And the steel workers are doing phenomenally better. I think you're going to do better than you've ever done before. You were losing all of your steel. If we didn't have tariffs, you would have no steel. We wouldn't have one steel mill anywhere in the United States. And that would be really bad for, Scott, national security. We need, the one thing you need steel. You know, you can give up certain products. You can give up pencils. That's under the China policy. You know, every child can get 37 pencils. They only need one or two. You know, they don't need that many. But you always need steel. You don't need $37 for your daughter. 2 or 3 is nice, but you don't need $37. So we're doing things right. We're running this country right. We're also putting thousands of dollars in the pockets of hardworking Pennsylvanians with the largest tax cuts in American history. That's no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, no tax. And all of that kicks in on January 1st. You know, it hasn't kicked in yet. I mean, we're doing great, and it hasn't kicked in yet, and it's amazing. And it's one of the reasons they said, sir, would you mind going on the trail And I actually like it, you know. I have fun. I have fun. I haven't read practically anything off the stupid teleprompter. And then my speechwriters they're getting awards for some of the finest speeches, and I haven't even read them. And the award for the finest writer in the history of speechmaking, Ross. Where are you, Ross? Are you here, Ross? Where the hell is Ross? Ross, are you here? Look, first time I've ever introduced him. Ross, get over here. I got it. He's a young, handsome man. He's the greatest. Thank you, Ross. Very low-key guy. Thank you. Look at Ross. He's so shy. I can't believe it. We're joined today by Donna Zajac, a mom and a waitress of over 45 years who lives in Stroudsburg. Does everybody know where Strouds? I know where it is. Because of no tax on tips, Donna estimates she will keep hundreds of additional dollars every single month, and she'll put all of that money toward her daughter's dream of becoming a veterinarian. That's a good, right? A good thing. Are you here, Donna? Where's Donna? Oh, come on up, Donna. Come on. Come on. You want, say a few words. Look how beautiful she is. She stood up. She wasn't supposed to come up, but when I looked at her, I said, come on up, Donna. Look how beautiful she is. You're not allowed to say that anymore. You know, in politics, if you say somebody's beautiful, that's the end of your political career. I say, I don't care. I don't care. Come on up, Donna.
What do you want me to say?
Yeah, just say whatever. This is always dangerous.
Thank you, Trump. Thank you to President Trump for having me. This is like my sister dream, but I love you too. My sister Ann loved you too. But yes, with that money, that would help me with my daughter's tuition. Yes, make it a lot easier.
Big difference,
right? For sure. Yeah, we love it. Thank you. Thank you.
A star is born. That's all I say. A star is born. Is your sister here? Is your sister here, Donna? Are you? Oh, hello. How are you? Good family. Well, thank you. Thanks, Donna. That's beautiful. Also with us is Marine Corps veteran Sean Downey, who now serves as a firefighter and a local first responder. Sean worked over 400 hours of overtime. That's a lot. And thanks to no tax on overtime, he'll take home thousands of dollars extra, which he plans to use to buy your first home. And thank you. Where's Sean? Good, Sean. Good. So you're going to use that money well, right? That was not an easy one to get approved. You know, it all went through Congress. I had to really push hard. I was not nice. I was not nice to get you that money. But you're going to use that money to get a house, right? A first house? Good. Well, you have a great future. Thank you very much. And here as well is Megan Hemhauser from Cresco, Pennsylvania. Megan's husband works 10 to 15 hours of overtime a week operating heavy equipment while she bartends and waits tables at night and homeschools her two children during the day, getting more and more prevalent. Homeschooling getting more and more. It's happening. That's okay. It's good. But thanks to no tax on tips and no tax on overtime, more than a quarter of their income will be tax-free. Megan, do you want to come up? Come on, Megan. Come on up.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you so much. As President Trump said, I'm a mom, a wife. I homeschool my 2 brilliant children. And the no tax on tips is incredible. No tax on overtime is incredible for my husband. And it all comes back to our family. It saves us, and it's for the future of our children. And it's been such a blessing to be home with them and to have them here with me tonight. And thank you for everything, President.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see that. I want to show that. You know what's great? So she had these notes, right? Not notes, it's a speech. She never even looked at it. She was great. It's much better when you don't have to read it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. So I just thought, great job. That's a great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's great. Never looked at the notes. She never looked at those notes. That's pretty cool. I have a lot of professionals sitting right here. They'll get up and read a speech. But Megan didn't have to do that. Another key part of our tax cuts is known as Trump accounts. Under this new program, the federal government will be creating an investment savings account for every single newborn American child with $1,000 to be invested and grow over the course of their life, right at the beginning of birth. Friends, family, employers, and loved ones will be able to add thousands of dollars a year, and it's like a trust fund for every American child. It's going to be something, and it's really exciting. And I want to thank Michael Dell and his beautiful Dell computer. Go out and buy a Dell computer. He got it started. He put up $6.25 billion. And he started with nothing. Think of that. And he just put that up. $6.25 billion. Michael Dell, thank you wherever you may be. Michael is probably in Texas watching us right now. And his beautiful wife. They're a great couple. His wife is incredible. Every single Democrat in Congress voted against these unbelievable benefits for American families. Why would you vote against? Money is being put up. Big money is being put up. And you know, these kids, when they get to be 18, 20, 21, 30, 35 years old, they could have $100,000, $200,000. And they're going to be rich. I mean, they're going to feel rich. And they're going to be watching it grow. And they may be helping it grow. Who knows? You never know. But it's going to teach them. It's going to be a great thing. This was Michael and some other people's ideas. They wanted to do this. And they spoke with their wallet, too. They put up a tremendous amount of money. So I just want to thank Michael Dell, his wife and family, and everybody else that was with us the other day. It was a big day, and it's a big event. But we're joined today by some of your representatives who voted to put more money in your pockets. And these are great people. And I introduced David. I'm going to ask him to stand up again, because David McCormick is a really great man in the truest sense. He won a race. You know, he really did well the first time, too, but some bad things happened, right? And very few people are willing to do that again. And to be honest, if he would have lost, I know his wife. She's a beautiful woman, extremely into the social scene, but respected by everybody. She would have left him if he lost. And I told him that. Dina would have left him. She's that way. Hey, we can't help it. That's the way she is. So I said, David, you're taking a big risk if you run again, because if you lose twice, your wife is leaving you. And he wasn't worried. Stand up. David McCormick. Yeah. He was so great. He followed me every single time I spoke. He was there, and he got up and he'd speak. And I'll tell you, we had big crowds, David, and the audience listened to you. In fact, they liked him more than they liked me in some cases. I was thinking about, let's keep him off the stage. But they really loved you. And you've been a great senator. And you have a great wife. Thank you very much. Thank you. And a congressman who's been a warrior, and a couple of guys that have just been unbelievable. But Rob Bresnahan, would you stand up, Rob? What a job you're doing, huh? Young, handsome, central casting. Great job. Thank you very much, Rob. Great job. And another one. These are warriors, these two guys. But the three of them. And then you have the senator, but the three of them. Ryan McKenzie. Ryan, thank you. And it's hard for me to explain how hard they work, but they were working so hard getting that big, beautiful bill. I call it the great, big, beautiful bill passed. You know, that was supposed to be in 17 bills. And I actually said it because I'm not that experienced. I haven't been doing it that long, believe it or not. I haven't been doing this. I had one man, he was a congressman, and we had a big meeting, and he was telling us all how to do something. And I said, I disagree with that. He said, sir, I've had 22 races, and I've won 20 of them. I know what I'm doing. And I said, sir, I've had 3 races, and I've won all 3 of them. And mine was for president. And he said, all right, you got me on that. He's actually a good man. He got a little carried away one day. But that's because these guys wanted to do it my way, too. So we had 17 bills prepared. Dan Muser, right? Stand up, Dan. What a great guy. Stand up, Mrs. Muser. Dan is he's a very powerful congressman, but he's a great person, great man. All 3 of these guys, they're warriors, and your senators, very few people that I've ever met that would take that risk. It was a risk. You know, it takes guts to run for public office, right? It takes guts. A lot of guys talk, including me. I talked about this for a long time before I did it. It takes courage to run for any public office because, you know, you can be very embarrassed. You can ruin your life. Look at me. I got impeached. I got indicted. I was never going to be impeached, indicted. I get indicted like 87 times with these stupid. See, they should have indicted me once. They would have had a better chance. With all of the I used to get up. It was very important. I'd get up and say, here we go again. Ladies and gentlemen, I got indicted again. And nobody believed the whole thing. And then I'd explain it, and it turned out to be a hoax. I mean, it was a total hoax. They're very, very bad, very, very bad people. But Dan Muser has been a great congressman. He was thinking about running for governor. I think you would have won if you ran, but you know, in a selfish way, I like you in Washington even better. So I want to thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. That's even more important. Thank you very much. And thanks as well to Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, and Secretary of Energy, Chris Wright. You guys have been great. Thank you. I introduced them, but I want to introduce because they have been so good. A major factor that fueled inflation under Biden was the invasion of 25 million people. Think of this. 25 million people came into our country totally unchecked and unvetted, mostly across our southern border. 10 months ago, we inherited the worst border in the history of the world, and now we have the strongest border in the history of our country. We've never had a border that strong. And people don't talk about it. You notice they don't talk about it. When I was running, it was the biggest thing. And before I was running, that's all they talked about, the border, the border, the border. And now I fixed it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Even my people. They say, sir, don't put it in your speech. Why? Because nobody cares about the border. You fixed it. No, but you know how bad that is? Because they forget what you did. We had a border that was so bad. Everybody, criminals, everybody pouring into our country. Anybody. You know, the Congo, I just settled that war. The Congo, their entire prison population was set into our country. Venezuela, their entire prison population was dumped into our country. And now we have the tightest border we've ever had. We have one of the strongest borders anywhere in the world. I would say there's one country that has probably a stronger border. You know what that is? You know what that is? North Korea. North Korea, I think, has a stronger border. But other than North Korea has 7 walls of wire, and each of them has 1 million volts of electricity going through it. So if you get over one, you're dead for the next one. If you get over one, you're in very bad shape. If you get over 2, you've set a record. So I don't know, Scott, I think we give North Korea the safest border. Don't you agree? You know, but ours is pretty safe. And I want to thank Pete Hegseth and the military for helping us. And again, for 7 months in a row, we've had 0 illegal aliens that have been admitted to the United States. And nobody. Do you remember when Biden said, I need legislation to do that? And I said, no, all you need is a new president. I didn't get legislation. Scott, did I get legislation? I said, close the freaking border right now. And they did it. Because our Border Patrol is incredible. ICE is incredible. That ICE, poor ICE, they take a lot of abuse, but they're the toughest.